Yes.
District Board of Directors. It is a special meeting. It is June 28th, 2023. It is 5:06 p.m. I'm going to note for the sake of expediency that all 5 directors are present in the boardroom. For President's statement, I'll keep it short. It is of vital importance that we do everything in our power to make sure that the Sewer Authority Mid-Coast is able to function every day, all night, without interruption. And we're here tonight because we need to consider taking some action on the SAM budget. There was a SAM meeting Monday night, and I'm glad those of you who are here. And with that is my President's statement. Do we have oral comments for items that are not on the agenda? Or actually, given that we're starting in closed session, do we have oral comments on any item? Yes, Greg.
So I'm here as an individual, although I'm chair of the Mid-Coast Community Council, and I want to just put this on the record. Half Moon Bay for years has paid under protest on budget items that they were disputing in their lawsuit, but something's changed. Half Moon Bay has now asked the partner agencies in SAM to sign a stipulation, but I have not seen an explanation of why. I don't understand why they couldn't continue to pay under protest. And I also don't see any reason why Montara or El Granada should operate outside of normal procedure while a lawsuit they already won, which is under appeal by Half Moon Bay, continues. Now, Montara and El Granada already approved a budget which includes capital asset repairs to the Intertie pipeline system following storm damage in January, and equally as important, which conforms to a consent decree under a federal lawsuit brought by the Ecological Rights Foundation. Half Moon Bay is in distress. They have a $3.7 million operating deficit, and based on my calculations, they're already facing $95 million in public works reserve deficits. For example, 10 of the 12 million in their stormwater capital expenditure plan is unfunded, and the stormwater infiltration and inflow is what caused the SAM plant to exceed capacity and almost fail and suffer millions of dollars in damages the past 2 Decembers. We are mutually dependent upon a financially healthy partner in Half Moon Bay, and I will do what I can to assist Half Moon Bay in funding their deficit infrastructure. However, I am concerned by agreeing to a budget which fails to comply with the settlement of the Ecological Rights Foundation lawsuit, that Montara is exposing itself to additional legal liabilities and increased project costs it would not face were it to approve a budget fully funding those essential IPS repairs. I do understand that all SAM parties must approve a budget or risk being removed from the JPA. So the actions of Granada, should it agree to a bastardized budget with Half Moon Bay, will force Montara's hand. But the root cause of this issue is the financial condition of Half Moon Bay, and that we must all work together to improve. Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you. Do we have any other comments?
Yes.
Okay, one moment. Yes, Catherine?
I simply wanted to say that we had a crushed water main on Alamo Friday afternoon. Our crew was working close by and they came over and they were still working at 7 o'clock at night to fix it. They also worked on Saturday and I believe Sunday, and they finally got it fixed. I just wanted to say thank you to our awesome crew who managed to keep the tank full as could be with this massive leak happening. It happened because there was a truck trimming trees for PG&E, and it took a huge eucalyptus and lifted it off either on the crane or on the truck. And so our old pipe crushed. Again, thank you to our awesome crew. Without you, we'd still be RWE or something and out of water and in a bad situation. So just once again, I can't say thank you enough.
Yes, Sid?
Really quick, since you're on the subject of our crew, I went to the San Mateo County Fair and I ran into Julian, thank you. Martinez with his son who was showing a turkey and he won. So kudos. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Okay, so I want to depart from the agenda a wee bit. We have an urgency item, and that is that we have a draft, a final draft, I believe, of the audit, which is woefully tardy, but we finally have our hands on a draft of the audit. Peter Medina is here tonight and would like to introduce the draft to us. And before we can do that, we would need to take a vote of the board if you're willing to entertain adding that to the agenda as an urgency item.
So moved.
Okay, so moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that has been added. Now we need to talk about the order of operations here. Tonight's agenda is pretty short. We've got a closed session item on the Half Moon Bay lawsuit, and then new business to talk about and possibly act on the SAM budget that was modified and sent out for distribution to the member agencies in a vote of the SAM board on Monday night. And now we've got the Peter thing. Peter, how much time do you figure you would need to give us the quick once over on this?
Oh, I'm not going to take very much time at all. Just in terms of, less than a minute.
Okay. Oh, okay. Terrific. Why don't you go ahead and do that? We'll put you at the start of the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you bet.
Okay. So we have a draft. We are very close. We've signed the manager rep letters, which basically authorize the partner to finally sign the report. We have an unmodified opinion. I believe once we have an actual signed report, we can go a little bit further into it. But at this point, I said we are under tremendous pressure from the county and our creditors to produce something. They've been asking us for a number of months. So we're hoping that by going through this process, which you guys assembling today, we can at least satisfy the curiosity of our creditors, saying we are in a good position. We can show them that we have a draft that is an unmodified opinion, and we can at least say we are very, 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 very close, and mean the last very.
So, Peter, did they have any notable findings in their?
Findings. No.
Good.
So it will be easy. Do we need to discuss it or since we don't have a copy, I don't feel like I can approve it, but that's very good news.
Well, it's still a draft, so we wouldn't approve it. But what Clemens said is that he wanted us to be aware of what we've got and ask questions about it. He wanted us to review it. We don't have the paper version in front of us, but we can acknowledge Peter's representation that the final draft is here. And I think that would be good if we agree, we can provide that acknowledgement just in the form of saying so.
We're planning on basically moving forward with those that are asking us the status and at least saying, here is the draft. We've held off on that because we have not been given a clear timetable as far as when we will receive the final draft. But knowing that the next time we meet may be a month down the road, we want to just move the process forward with at least acknowledging that we've seen the draft so that when we have the final version, we know that acceptance and receipt will come, but at least we can move forward without having to reassemble the board to formally receive the draft to then submit to the county and to the creditors. Those are the main bodies that are asking.
Okay, good. Sid and then Bill.
I just had two questions. First of all, did they ever give you an explanation of why they're so late? And also, are we switching auditors?
An explanation, yes and no. They've said staffing issues, and so I guess that can account for an explanation, but I don't believe it accounts for the explanation for why it's taking this long. We were told of a delay, but it's really the issue being we accepted the delay, but we do not have a good time accepting the non-responsiveness to everything that we ask and the length of time for the segments to be rolled out, meaning draft process. We respond to the draft. We give draft changes. We would have been ready 2 months ago.
And I'm new. So what's the deadline usually to turn it in?
There isn't a hard and fast deadline. It's typically going to be dictated by our creditors, and the SEO doesn't have a hard and fast as far as if you don't have it by this date, a year after, but it's typically anything more than a year after fiscal year ends. So I mean that'll be as of this Friday. Is a red flag if it's not already, but it's typical that the audit report will be accepted within or issued and accepted within 6 months of fiscal year end. So by 12/31 is the generally accepted timetable.
So are we looking for another auditor?
The answer to that is yes. We've already engaged with another auditor for the fiscal year ending 6/30/2023.
Thank you.
Bill.
So my understanding, Peter, is that the motivation for tonight is that we are under pressure by both county regulators and also creditors to produce an audit, which is way late. And the solution is to give to them the draft in its current form, saying that, yes, it's a draft, but at least this proves we're close and it shows you probably what we're going to sign off on. And so it sounds like it's a little bit more than Scott summarized, that we're actually giving the draft to them as sort of a consolation prize or a fill-in or something like that. I don't need to characterize it.
Right.
I'm happy to do that. I just want to know if that's what we're doing.
In essence, yes. Okay. We've been told now that we're going to have it Thursday or Friday. Instead of bringing the board back together to accept and receive the final version, we want to move forward with disclosing the draft to the county and our creditors.
So let me just see if I can't help a little bit. This is if no one objects, if no board member objects, we'll direct staff to share it with the parties that are going to need it, with the understanding that we believe it's final draft form, likely to be, signed off in substantially the form that it's been shared with us and that we intend to share with these parties. And so does anyone object to that plan?
Correct. No.
Okay. I would like to just take a minute. Clemens and Peter have kept me up to date with a lot of the goings on behind the scene about trying to get the auditor to finish this work up. I'll just say they've been diligent. Plans of how we're going to deal with it if we don't hear back from these folks. And I'm just really glad that they got back to us and we have a draft in our hot little hands and that they have actually told us they intend to get us the real thing later in the week. We're acting now at Clemens and Peter's recommendation that we just get it out there, show creditors and regulators, and let them know we've got something. It reads really nice, I think, and we'll get on to the next step. We'll get it, properly accepted, formally accepted at our next meeting. So my thanks to you, Peter, and to Clemens, and thanks for getting it this far. This has been a very odd and difficult situation to deal with, but you know something about the quality of the people when they handle the odd situation quite well. So, okay, with that, let's then move on to the next part. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you,
We are
Peter.
going to convene in closed session. We are going to end the public broadcast of this as soon as we do that. We are going in for conference of legal counsel on existing litigation in the case of City of Half Moon Bay versus Grenada Community Services District et al. And then after that, if we take any action, we'll report on that after we come out of closed session, and then we will go into the item for new business concerning the possible action on the general budget from Sam. I want to ask tactically, are you able to stay for some indeterminate amount of time, PCT, and come back and get back online with us at that time?
Thank you.
I can't offer to the audience any certainty about what time that would be.
But are you the same videographer that does the MCC meeting at 7?
No,
Okay.
they're taken care of.
Okay. So here's what I propose. I'm going to admit one more person here before I say this. What I'm going to propose is that when we go into closed session, all the members of the public will be removed from the Zoom meeting, but feel free to sign back in if you're willing to wait in the waiting room. And then when we come out of closed session, I can readmit you.
That sounds good.
Let's give that a try. I hope this works out. We're kind of moving fast tonight, so I apologize that on the tech front, we don't have Clemens here. He's out of the country right now, so we're doing the best we can. So with that, we're going to go into closed session, and then when we come out, I'll try to bring everybody in who's in the waiting room, and then we'll resume with the open item session. Okay, thank you, everybody, and hope to see some of you after the closed session.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Let's go into We are going to resume with the next item, which I have to open up here. The first item of new business. And welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for waiting. I know it's an unusual arrangement for the meeting, but I appreciate your patience. We're going to review and possible action concerning Sewer Authority Mid-Coast Side fiscal year 2023-2024 general budget as amended. And for those of you who aren't watching the SAM, well, here, let me introduce the item by reading the staff report. This board previously approved the SAM general budget for fiscal year 2023-2024 on June 1, 2023, and thereafter transmitted to SAM its authorizing resolution, therefore. However, because the city of Half Moon Bay, one of SAM's member agencies, refused to consent to the SAM general budget as presented, the SAM board was unable to approve the final budget because it lacked the consent of all member agencies. Instead, the SAM board at its June 27th meeting, Monday night, approved for distribution to its member agencies an amended general budget containing the following components. The fiscal year 23-24 SAM general budget comprised of 1, administration complete, no change from the original budget. Treatment complete, no change from the original budget. Environmental complete, no change from the original budget. And 4, infrastructure projects totaling $1.72 million, $500,000 for replacement of boilers at the plant, $1 million for replacement of the generator at the plant, and $220,000 for pre-design work on SAM's Montara force main that was previously approved by the SAM board. The proposed amended general budget is also subject to further amendment at mid-year review or following the decision by the appellate court in the pending lawsuit filed by the city of Half Moon Bay. The only difference from the previous fiscal year 2023-2024 general budget is that the proposed amended general budget does not contain the Montara force main rehabilitation project in the infrastructure division. The recommendation of staff is to adopt the resolution approving the budget. So, do I have any questions or comments from members of the public? See no hands. So let's go to the board. I'll keep an eye out for hands if somebody has a question or comment. Board members?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the amended Sewer Authority Mid-Coast Side budget for fiscal year 23-24. And I also have comments to make, but I wanted to get the motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, so thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Peter. Motion to approve the resolution. So let me mention, well, go ahead with your comments, please.
I want to say that I think it is very, very important to keep SAM running for the public health of the coast side. And any interruption for the plant, for the crew, for the community would be disastrous. That's why I made the motion. I think it is a dangerous folly for Grenada and Half Moon Bay to have decided to remove funding for a project to which they are legally obligated under the Clean Water Act and have previously, through their membership of SAM, agreed to. According to the Clean Water Act, members of an agency like SAM, the agency is called a person, which is to say a body inseparable. And I feel that Grenada and Half Moon Bay are doing what they think is right. But I think it puts SAM and the community and the system at risk. And but that said, the crew and the plant and the admin and the entire community, which is totally dependent on SAM, it needs to keep going. So I'm hoping that what Montara can do is in our own budget discussions later in July, or between now and July, I'd like to see us put aside a fund so that when the lawsuit is finally settled, we have the money to be able to, we will have been saving the money to fix the pipeline per our required share and not have to put a further burden on our ratepayers. So that's my concern.
Did anybody second your motion yet?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a comment.
Okay.
That I will vote yes, but under protest, because first of all, I feel like we're being held over a barrel and I don't appreciate that, but that I do see the benefit to the entire community of the coast side to have a working sewer plant. And when Kishan said that we only had enough reserves left for 2 more months, if this budget wasn't passed, and he said the plant would have to shut down. I worry for the staff of the sand plant and I worry for all the residents of the coast side. So I will vote, even though I feel it wasn't right the way Half Moon Bay put it to us. So it's my vote, yes.
Well, I'll just say that there's no way we're letting anybody impact the operation of the plant and the function of the crew and keeping the coastside safe. The function of the sewer authority mid coastside is not something to be toyed with. And we've been steadfast and continue to be so in doing this, even when our partners try to make it about something else. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution. Let me make sure I'm looking at this right. I have so many pieces of paper in front of me. I'm sorry. I want to make sure I got the right one. This is the resolution of the Montara Water and Sanitary District consenting to approval by Sewer Authority Mid Coastside of its general budget for fiscal year 2023-2024 as amended and rescind resolution number 1766. Let's do a roll call vote. Director Decker.
Aye.
Director Slater Carter.
Yes.
Director Softley.
Aye.
Director Young.
Yes, under protest.
And Director Boyd votes aye. So by a vote of 5-0, the motion passes. I'd like to thank everyone who's joined us. We are,
President Boyd,
yes,
sorry to interrupt. I just want to clarify, the resolution provided in the packet was the standard general budget resolution that we normally pass. But in light of the comments that the board made in regard to the motion, I might understand that those comments should be incorporated in the ultimate resolution that the board is approving here.
yes.
Thank you.
The board all nods and says yes,
Thank
but we
you,
have
Christine.
consensus.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. With that, we've concluded tonight's business. Again, thank you for participating in this public process. What we're doing here is important for the health and safety and welfare of the community and the coastside. And we really appreciate everyone who's paying attention and participating. Please tell your friends, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. With that, hearing no objection, this meeting is adjourned.
Yay.
Thank you.